Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Security forces have foiled a series of attacks by Fitna-e-Hindustan in several cities of Balochistan, killing 92 terrorists, including 3 suicide bombers. Operations conducted over the past 2 days have raised the total number of terrorists killed to 133. 15 security personnel and 18 civilians were martyred in the attacks. Search and sanitization operations are continuing in the affected areas. All attackers, planners, facilitators and abettors will be brought to justice. Preparations are underway for the full reopening of Gaza's Rafah border crossing. According to Israeli and Palestinian officials, work was ongoing, though it remains unclear whether any Palestinians would be able to cross before the end of the day. Before the war, Rafah was the only direct exit for most Palestinians in Gaza to the outside world, and a key entry point for humanitarian aid. The crossing has been largely closed since May 2024. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has warned that any US attack on Iran would trigger a regional conflict, according to Iranian state media. The warning comes amid heightened tensions between Washington and Tehran. The United States has increased its naval presence in the Middle East after President Donald Trump repeatedly threatened intervention if Iran does not agree to a nuclear deal or fails to halt the killing of protesters. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says a new round of US-brokered trilateral talks between Ukraine and Russia will be held in Abu Dhabi on February 4th and 5th. In a post on X, Zelensky said Kyiv was ready for a substantive discussion aimed at bringing the war closer to a real and dignified end. He said Ukraine's negotiating team had confirmed the dates following a briefing on the talks. Donald Trump has said that Iran is talking to the United States and suggested that a deal could be reached to avoid military strikes. Speaking on the matter, he said Iran was engaged in discussions with Washington and that the outcome would determine future developments. He added that a large US naval fleet was heading towards the region. Moreover, Trump also said that India would buy oil from Venezuela. He maintained that progress was being made towards a possible agreement between the United States and Cuba, adding that both sides appeared close to a deal. Iran says it will consider the armies of European Union countries as terrorist groups in retaliation for the EU's designation of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Parliament Speaker Mohammed Bakr Kalibaf said the move applies to EU states that place the Revolutionary Guards on the bloc's list of terrorist organisations. The European Union made the designation on Thursday, marking a symbolic shift in its approach toward Iran's leadership following what has been described as the country's deadliest crackdown on protests since 1979. US President Donald Trump has said that the United States may work out a deal with Cuba, reiterating his call for Havana to negotiate with Washington. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump said he did not believe the situation had to become a humanitarian crisis. His remarks came days after he threatened tariffs on any country supplying oil to Cuba. Trump said Cuba's economic situation was dire, adding that the country has no money or oil and can no longer rely on support from Venezuela. In a post on X, Elon Musk has said the steps taken to stop the unauthorized use of the satellite internet service by Russia appeared to have worked. His comments came after Ukraine said it was working with SpaceX to prevent Russian forces from using Starlink to guide long-range drones in attacks. Ukraine's defense minister, Mikhailo Fedorov, said Kyiv had detected Starlink systems on drones used by Russia. Israel's military has accepted that around 70,000 Palestinians were killed during the war in Gaza, after having earlier cast doubt on death tolls reported by the enclave's health officials. Israel's Ynet news website and other leading outlets reported, citing a briefing with senior military officials. Ynet cited an official as saying that in their estimation, around 70,000 Gazans were killed during the war, not including missing persons, adding that they were working to distinguish between terrorists and those who were not involved. Meanwhile, Israel has carried out its heaviest airstrikes in Gaza in weeks, killing 26 people, according to local health authorities, in attacks on a Hamas-run police station and on apartments and tents in an area sheltering displaced Palestinians. Despite the tenuous ceasefire agreed between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas, Israeli warplanes targeted the Sheikh Radwan police station west of Gaza City, killing 10 officers and detainees. The US State Department has approved more than $6.5 billion in potential military sales to Israel in 3 separate contracts. The Pentagon said the US State Department approved a potential sale of Joint Light Tactical Vehicle and related equipment for an estimated cost of $1.98 billion, and another sale of AH-64E Apache helicopters for $3.8 billion. A third military contract was also awarded for $740 million. The State Department has also approved the potential sale of Patriot interceptor missiles and related equipment to Saudi Arabia for an estimated cost of $9 billion. The Pentagon said in a statement that the principal contractor for the sale of the missiles, Patriot Advanced Capability 3 Missile Segment Enhancement Missiles, will be Lockheed Martin Corp. It added that the approval follows a request by Saudi Arabia to buy 730 PAC-3 MSE missiles. Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets in Minneapolis, and students across the United States staged walkouts to demand the withdrawal of federal immigration agents from Minnesota following the fatal shootings of 2 US citizens. Students and teachers abandoned classes from California to New York on a national day of protest, which came amid mixed messages from the Trump administration about whether it would de-escalate Operation Metro Surge. Several thousand people gathered in downtown Minneapolis in sub-freezing temperatures, including families with small kids, elderly couples, and young activists. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.